Keith Hurd. I'm from New York City. I was here in 1986 and 1987. My grandfather was a musical director and big band composer. So I was growing up in a household where he was working on Broadway. I was around musicians. He always had rehearsals. That was my upbringing, and so I was following his footsteps in the music business. He wanted me to hear from other people, so I remember specifically meeting with the conductor who had done Man of La Mancha and Pippin on Broadway. He taught me a lot about the Pippin score, and about a year after that, I asked him, how do I go about becoming a conductor? He said, people in the Broadway business expect you to have the talent, but it's a people business, and if they like working with you, you get the jobs. So he said to me, go to a liberal arts college and go to Paris for a year and just speak French. And make sure that you're taught by French professors in France. So I found that specific program with SUNY, where they had a program at the Sorbonne with French professors, and that's what I took. I studied at the Sorbonne, but I studied Cours de Civilisation. I was here for 2 semesters, and then I spent time on the 5th floor, hanging out with the artists up there, and a concert pianist named John Holden, who came from California. Since then, I still see him in New York. We've been seeing one another. He's the musical director for the Young People's Chorus. He taught at NYU, and he plays in Broadway shows. What I loved about the Fondation des États-Unis is they had French living here with us, and next door could be the English house, the British house rather, the Moroccan house, the Mexican house. And so I found that the French students who came to Paris to study themselves, they wanted to mix particularly with the students. And I think that was a unique experience here, because the other students that came on my program to Paris that year were put up in another place around the Luxembourg Park. However, they didn't seem to be having weekends in the country at French friends' homes like I was, and so they were very envious of that. And that's one of the things that I guess you just have to make an effort to make the friendships, because most of the people in my programs were foreigners, from Germany or Sweden, because they were all learning French grammar and literature the same as I was. But to meet the French, since we couldn't work here, you just have to make an effort. And I found that the Fondation des États-Unis, it was an easy way, and the International House was so easy to meet friends who lived here and stayed in France. I definitely have a lot of friends that I met at the time that I lived here. When I was saying I met some of my French neighbors, I'm still friends with some of them and their families. In fact, when they had kids, their kids came to New York because their parents were friends with an American, and I found them internships or an apartment to stay in, so that relationship and those friendships have lasted to today. So Yves Girardot was my neighbor, lived on the 1st floor, rez-de-chaussée with me, and one day when I couldn't go to, I was planning to go to Sweden for Christmas to visit a friend, a pen pal, and when that plan got scuttled, he said, well, why don't you come to Brittany, and spend Christmas with my family. So I went out to Nantes and got to explore Brittany, which I had not done at that point. And I would say that almost immediately we became friends. I got to meet his friends in Paris. We went skiing, I went to the Alps, and next thing I know, I started becoming very close to his family, his family's friends. I think they enjoyed having an American coming to their house, and they would pull out all the stops for great dinners and wine, and I kept coming back to France, seeing him. He lived in Montpellier, he lived in Bordeaux. Now he's in Grenoble, so I just went to ski with Yves and his family. I have been working in Broadway shows. I market and promote, and I've raised money for Broadway shows for about 25 years. I promote concerts, cabarets, and recently Immersive Van Gogh. We worked on that in New York City, and now it's been traveling and setting up in different cities around the country. I love making people happy and entertaining people, and the challenge of getting people to attend shows is something I've been working on for years, and I just love what I do.